Oh no, of course. Like I was going to say, okay, talk. Sure, sure. मैं actually I woke up in the half an hour ago because we're taking care of this cat that didn't sleep all night, and so she hasn't let us sleep. So I had a lot of time to think about this question.
Yeah. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to the 6 p.m. live stream. Today we have Siddhartha with us, and Siddhartha is basically an expert in Venus technologies. So, Siddhartha, there are a lot of people, Akshit and everyone, who have been waiting for you. As of now, around 350 people are live with us who are watching this thing and also saying everything. So, hello everyone. Hi. So, guys, in today's live stream, we are going to talk to Siddhartha. Welcome, Siddhartha, to the session.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So now we are basically beginning the session with Siddhartha, and we are going to talk about his motivations, that what all things he was liking throughout his journey, how he actually developed his scientific temperament, and what are his current projects. Okay, so guys, let's begin the session. Hello, Siddhartha. All the people are saying curious OP in the chat. That it's simply a meaning that we are going to be really curious. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's always good.
So, sir, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's I live in California, so
Yes.
it's pretty early in the morning. But I'm very excited to see everyone. But see you, but hear from everyone. I do a lot of exciting work, and it's always a pleasure to share it with people. So I'm excited to hear all these questions and answer some of them hopefully. And I'm also excited to get people interested in science. And so I'll be very happy to share, how I got to doing what I'm doing. Also, just as a note, मैं दिल्ली में पला बड़ा हूँ, तो मतलब हिंदी में भी बात करनी है तो हम कर सकते हैं.
Yes. So, people, Siddhartha is basically has graduated from IIT Delhi and then Stanford. So, we'll be talking in Hindi and English both time to time. So, Siddhartha, like when you were a kid, जब आप छोटे थे, so at those times, what was happening around the world which actually inspired you to think into space? Like any kind of a event which motivated you, जिससे आपको लगा that you can create a career in space?
So it's interesting, right? मतलब पता लग जाएगा कि मैं कितना बड़ा हूँ अब. क्योंकि जब मैं छोटा था तो there wasn't social media, right?
Okay.
So जैसे आजकल होता है कि we had the Mars landing this year. China also landed on Mars. US landed on Mars. UAE went to Mars. All of these things happened, and you were able to watch videos on social media, and there's a lot of promotion around it. That wasn't there when I was a kid, right? So
हाँ.
talking late 90s, mid 90s, right? तो उस टाइम पे इंफॉर्मेशन मिलना जो था, इंटरनेट भी नहीं था वैसे, खैर
अच्छा.
मतलब सोशल मीडिया तो बाद की बात है. So you had to like my main source of information was watching TV science,
Okay.
right? Earliest was there used to be I think if there are teachers who are watching this, एक Professor Yashpal का एक show आता था. And now I'm like really people who are probably not even born when this show is coming on. But
हाँ.
there was a science show by Professor Yashpal on Doordarshan at some point जब cable TV भी नहीं था. I started watching that. That was very interesting. Then I got cable TV, and I think primarily I used to like some like I'm not saying I only used to watch Discovery Channel because that would be a lie, but when I watched Discovery Channel, I found it very interesting because it had like a lot of space shows.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that got me interested. But I also had very good science teachers very early on in my life. Like so in class
Mm-hmm.
5, in class 6, I had science teachers who always like कभी कभी होता है कि आप सवाल पूछो तो किसी ने आपको बोल दिया कि ये सिलेबस में नहीं है तो पूछने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Thankfully I had teachers who were okay saying मुझे पता नहीं है
हाँ.
लेकिन मैं कल पढ़ के आपको बताता हूँ. So that was very helpful कि you ask difficult questions but someone doesn't tell you to not ask those questions. They're happy saying, I don't know the answer right now, but I'll go back and find out and come back and tell you, right? So being able to say you don't know, but you will find out is very important in science because that's basically 90% of the time you don't
Yes.
know the answer, right? So
Yes.
so yeah, I mean those things were very important for me growing up.
So, sir, like when you were growing up, at that point of time, did you try to do any kind of an amateur astronomical experiment? क्या आपने कोई कैसी like observation करी थी, like something which
Not with success. I used to मुझे ना मतलब ये एक और चीज़ है कि मतलब I think I grew up in a different time जब when some like information also and also just like general hobby resources were very difficult to get, right? So like it's
mm-hmm.
very different now. Like people have a lot of
हाँ.
opportunities, things are available for cheap. मुझे था एक बारी कभी बीच में मुझे लगा कि मैं खुद टेलीस्कोप बनाता हूँ and it was like an absolute failure. Like I didn't have the right lenses, I didn't have the right alignment, I didn't have the right information. Then I had this shock कि model airplane. But then that was too expensive and I didn't have the kits and stuff. तो मैंने लिखा था एक बारी मैं कि डिस्कवरी चैनल का भी देखता था तो आई रोट देम अ लेटर वंस सेइंग कि मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्ट है मॉडल एयरप्लेन में तो उनसे बस मुझे एक किसी एग्जीक्यूटिव से रिप्लाई आया था बट इवन दैट वाज वेरी एक्साइटिंग फॉर मी बिकॉज I like, oh, someone like listened to my question, and it turned out later that this was my dad's friend, right? Like, so kind of cheated, uh, but it was, like I tried doing things, like, and you don't always have to do expensive things, right? Like, a lot of questions are day-to-day questions, right? Like,
Hmm.
जैसे मुझे जैसे अब भी मतलब गार्डनिंग का काफी शौक है, like I grow plants and stuff. So, but that started as a science experiment, right? Like when I was in school, we had a project where you had to germinate seeds. I don't know if they still do that in India in like
Yeah,
class five,
yeah,
six.
like अभी भी कराते हैं, like the
कराते हैं ना?
like मटर का germination, that is the most
Exactly.
famous.
So simple things, right? Like so you can do very simple experiments that are not expensive to do, and so really what you're doing there is you're learning to ask questions and answer them in ways that are scientific, right? Like you're not there's dogma which is you believe what you're told and then there's scientific experiments where you ask a question and you answer it for yourself.
Hmm.
So it doesn't need to be expensive. Now as I have grown and like coming to the US, I found some of these hobbies like I mean actually not even in the US. जब मैं college में था तो then there were others who were much better at astronomy. Like I don't do any astronomy as a career, but it's just always fun to look at things in the sky. So when I got to college in DU in St. Stephen's, I had friends who were much better astronomers with much better tools, and so I would go with them, and
Okay.
they'd sort of teach me to do these things. So like so as I sort of my access to these things increased, like I just kind of took advantage wherever I could.
Hmm.
Um, you know, yeah.
So, sir, like as you told that when you went to college and you met other peer people, So, like, were you always sure that you have to create your career in space, or there was a dilemma since childhood? या आप कुछ और भी बनना चाहते थे?
That's an interesting question. Actually, as far back as my memory goes, it was space.
Okay.
So there is an age, 8 or 9 or 10, right? Like where I think there is a span of time in almost every child's life when they want to be an astronaut or something to do with space. And for whatever reason, a lot of people like lose it as they go on. Maybe they don't have interest anymore, which is fine, or like they're not given the right opportunities, which is kind of problematic. But for me, somehow, I'm very grateful for this. Is that I met the right people and was able to stick to this interest. And so when I was 9, I started thinking I want to work in something aerospace. और काफ़ी टाइम तक मेरे दिमाग में कंफ्यूजन थी कि मैं एस्ट्रोनॉमी एस्ट्रोफिजिक्स करूँगा या एरोस्पेस करूँगा and it turns out only in college did I sort of figure out the difference between the two, and I realized I'm actually more interested in aerospace engineering than I am in astronomy. So the difference being astronomy mein you're observing the sky, aerospace engineering mein you're actually building things and studying things that like aircraft or spacecraft. And so eventually, like I sort of wound up working in spacecraft stuff. Like, so I work on instrument development.
So, sir, like you were telling us that you were confused in these two branches. So, when we are kids, we study only three, four things. Like one
Correct.
is
Correct.
basically the science, maths, chemistry,
हाँ,
and that's all.
हाँ,
So, in दोनों में bifurcation, like how it goes further, like is maths which is more
हाँ.
powerful in engineering side, or like observation में है, so what is happening?
So the thing is, and this is something, a lot of our listeners are very young. I often field questions from younger people in India and, in the US, like, more so in India because I guess perhaps they identify with me more. When they're in like class 9, 10, 11, 12, there is this pressure on them कि अब जो आप choose करोगे वो आप करोगे पूरी जिंदगी, right?
हाँ.
And I think that's a very bad idea because increasingly so the world is very, very multidimensional and interdisciplinary, and this is actually true of everything I do as well, right? So uh, there are certain things that are foundational. So you need to know, if you want a career in science and engineering, you want to do maths very well.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know that very well. But everything else is like a gained skill, right? Like in that you can mix and match things. And so जैसे मतलब अब मैं अपने career के बारे में बात करूँ तो class 11 12 में I did physics, chemistry, maths. I never liked chemistry. Uh, but then I went for physics honors and I had to do chemistry there for like a couple of years. And then I did a master's in physics. And then I did a master's in aerospace engineering and a PhD in aerospace engineering. But none of my knowledge actually that I gained from like doing PCM in class 11, 12, or like doing other things like my 5 years of physics education before, none of that was wasted because the aerospace engineering also is a field where uh, you use your knowledge from 100 other places, and often it's very advantageous to have studied other things because you can think outside the box, like you can bring ideas from a different field. So I think you should, especially at an early age, not box yourself. Like the decision you make for college or class 9 and 10, yes, it will affect your life and you go forward, but it doesn't close doors for you. Like there is always time to learn new things and do new things, you know. एंड तो इसमें जो बाइफर्केशन था एस्ट्रोफिजिक्स और एरोस्पेस इंजीनियरिंग में मैं अपनी थर्ड ईयर में था और मुझे डिसाइड करना था कि आगे क्या करना है. And it was an interest thing, like as in was I more interested in figuring out like how spacecraft work, or was I more interested in like studying how stars are born, and it just turned out that I just realized I was more interested in how spacecraft work. And by then the internet was a thing, so I just started looking up, and then so I started to follow aerospace engineering. I did JEE for aerospace engineering, and after class 12 didn't clear it. Which in hindsight, like I mean, I think I'm very happy about the path I took. Like बात ये ना मतलब life में मेरे को space करना था.
हाँ.
मुझे IIT से aerospace engineering was not my life goal. My life goal was I want to be involved in aerospace. Period.
Yes.
So if so at that point I realized, like, if I do physics, that's foundational for everything. So I can do engineering later. Like, I can always transition into it. And it turned out to be a very good path, because like now the kind of work I do, I am, at the boundary between engineering and science, and I'm actually able to talk to both sides very effectively. And that's primarily because, like, when I made that decision to do physics, or I didn't clear JE, I wasn't like, oh, this is it. Like, this is all I can do with my life, right? Like, there's a lot more like you can do, like cross pollinate.
Yeah, yeah. So, sir, like you cracked, like you were basically having dilemma in the two branches, and then you joined NASA, like afterwards
Mhm.
studying from Stanford, and then
Mhm.
perhaps
Mhm.
after a lot of other projects. So,
Right.
like how you got, like how you chose, like how the path after the college was figuring out, like how you were choosing
Yeah.
all these things.
Yeah. So, multiple things, like, so the thing is, like, when you have an interest, you have to kind of try and follow it and get as much information as you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some part of my life has been planned, other parts have just happened as I have, studied. So, like, when I finished my masters in my second year of masters in physics, by then I had realized that I wanted to switch to aerospace, and I wanted to come to the US to do like a graduate degree in aerospace. So I started applying to colleges. uh, I got in the first year, didn't get funding, and then I had to cancel my admissions, and then the next year I got in again, and then I got some funding. Along the way, I did a bunch of research projects. So in the summer, I'd like uh, this is the most important thing. You have to follow your interest, right? So in the summer, I used to, like, say, work with professors, on their research projects. So just to get exposure to like what this area looks like. और आजकल एक्चुअली काफ़ी ज़्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटी है, बिकॉज आई थिंक इंडिया में रहते रहते ISRO has become much more active in involving young people, which is commendable, right? Like, those options didn't really exist when I was in college. And so after that, I applied, and then once I got to Stanford, there were plenty of opportunities where I was able to talk to a lot of people in NASA, or like in the industry, because they'd come for like campus events, or like there was something organized with them. And also social media became a thing, and so like you started becoming aware of like everything that's going on. And so it was easier then to follow these things, and which is not to say that it was easy to get to NASA, because it took a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of talking to people, a lot of presenting at conferences, that kind of thing, to actually get to JPL. It's really like you have to stay on top of information, stay hungry for information, right? Like, so if you want to do something like in aerospace, you have to like stay on top of like what's going on in aerospace, because there's like a lot of news, and so you have to stay up, catch up with it, and then also like talk to people like who do aerospace, and like they always provide you with guidance.
Okay, sir. So like, sir, your basic interest has been in Venus. Like, you have been working on Venus, and there are a lot of missions who have been deployed by NASA in the
Mhm.
present times and also in the past. So, any
Mhm.
specific thing about Venus which you would like to tell us? Like, what is the thing which you are working on, and as of
Sure.
now,
Sure.
and why is Venus so special?
So I love the technology, honestly. So you see this picture, right?
Yeah.
This is actually from a press release just last week. So I work on this technology that is detecting seismic activity, so quakes and volcanic eruptions from balloons.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually this balloon right behind me. We flew this near here in California, and this is actually the first balloon to have ever detected an earthquake.
Okay.
So usually, how you detect earthquakes is you have these seismometers on the ground, and they detect seismic waves. तो जब भी आपकी मतलब earthquake होती है तो उसमें your ground shakes and the seismometer detects it. But on Venus, the problem is that the surface is 460 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
So anything that has landed on Venus so far has not lasted for more than 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
Now, if you have experienced earthquakes in your life, you know they don't happen very often, right? Like they're sporadic, and you can't predict one. So if you only live for 2 hours, the guarantee of picking up an earthquake is a Venus quake is very low. So, but what happens on Venus is at like 50 to 60 kilometers, the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. So it's like very like just say on like maybe a little colder than a cold day in Delhi in December, right? Like so, India, there are places that the temperature is like 0 degrees Celsius. So uh, you can survive for much longer. So what we want to do is we want to put instruments on a balloon that will be in this 0 degree Celsius area and be able to study the surface motion without landing on the surface. Because then you can last for much longer and like have a much higher probability of picking up a seismic activity on Venus, like a Venus quake or a volcanic eruption. So that's what I work on primarily. I also work on the balloon itself. Like yeah, we're working on a very advanced balloon that, and you can look this up, that will be able to control its altitude on Venus, which is technologically pretty difficult, but like we're working on developing it. And to answer the second part of your question, like what is special about Venus is that there is no other planet like Venus in the solar system that is as similar to Earth.
Okay.
It is often referred to as Earth's twin, but the very strange thing is that it's not that much closer to the sun than the Earth. Like I mean, it is closer, but it's not like much closer like Mercury. It's about the same size, it's about the same mass, but somehow it's a very different place, right? On Earth, you won't find a single place with 460 degrees Celsius temperature. Venus also rotates so slowly that like it takes over 100 days to like rotate about its axis. But the winds are so fast that the atmosphere rotates about the planet in 4 days. So it's like it's 30 times faster. The atmosphere itself is rotating 30 times faster than the planet itself. So the real key question is, if they're so similar, why are they so different?
Yeah.
Right? Like somehow at some point, like some at some point they were so one of two scenarios existed. Either they were very similar for a very long time and then something happened on Venus that made it this way, or they were just different from the start itself. And that's a very fundamental question for why how the solar system functions or how the solar system formed, because what are the rules, right? Like is it that a planet that would be closer than the Earth to the sun is doomed from the start, or did things happen on that planet which could also happen on Earth to make it the way it is now and where it can't support any life on the surface, right? So that's what's interesting to me about Venus, is that is the fact that it is so similar, but then now you have just crazy things happening on Venus that like you don't know
Yes.
what is going on. And we haven't had you said we've sent a bunch of missions. Actually, NASA just announced two missions, and the European Space Agency just announced one mission. So these are three missions selected just in the last month. But actually, at least from the NASA side, this is the first mission going to Venus since 1990,
Oh.
right? So it's been 30 years. And so there are other agencies that have sent missions, like so the Japanese space agency has a mission in operation right
Okay.
now. The European space agency had something called Venus Express that is now done, that mission, but like it was ongoing about 10 years ago. uh, but we've had very little exploration of Venus, and so that's why these questions are still outstanding. Is like we don't really know what happened because we haven't actually made the measurements to figure out what happened.
Sir, एक मेरे ख्याल से like there was one mission by a Soviet agency which was
Yes.
sent like to Venus like 40, 50 years like say years back,
Right.
which actually landed
Right.
on the surface.
Right.
So
Right.
like was it any fruitful? Because I tried to search on net, but unki uski koi video footage I think is not visible right now.
हाँ मतलब you have to realize this is like 60 years ago, so like the technology, well, there's no video footage, but there is audio and there are photos.
Okay.
uh, and yeah, so you have to, so this is the 1960s and 70s. Actually, there were multiple missions that landed, mostly the Soviet, like basically the Soviet Union were the
Mm-hmm.
pioneers of Venus exploration, because they've done a lot of things like landing on Venus. In fact, they've actually, I don't know how many people know this, but in the 1980s, there were actually two balloons floated by Venus, by the Soviet Union on Venus. They're called
Wow.
the Vega balloons. And so they've done some like really cool stuff. And actually, when I say 460 degrees Celsius, the only way we knew that starting out was because the Soviet Union landed something on the surface, and and actually measured these, these winds and like this temperature. So it was definitely very, very useful. Like most of the things we know about Venus, came from these early missions, and like of course there were follow-up missions that told us more. So they were incredibly useful missions, and you have to realize the technological challenge of this, because
Yeah.
you know 460 degrees C, we still can't survive there for like more than 2 hours, right? So even in the 1960s, they were able to build these really sturdy spacecraft that like landed there. And if you hear the audio, like you can hear the drill functioning, and like it's actually pretty cool. Like those of you who are watching, if you want to just open a Google tab and search for Venera,
Like
Venera,
I think we can do it
Venera.
in this live stream itself,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah,
Venera.
why not? So just do
Venera.
Venera Lander audio or something.
Okay.
I think you might actually find it.
1 second. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yes.
So you see this Vega program. The Vega was like both landers and balloons, but just do Venera Lander audio.
Okay. Audio.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Paul Byrne is my friend, so you can,
Oh.
yeah, click on that, and he often shares fun stuff. So if you want to follow him on Twitter, he's a good guy to follow.
Sir, can you explain this thing in Hindi as well? Like what is happening in this video to the audience?
यस सो ये है, दिस इज अ, ये लैंडर है एक, जो वीनस गया था। सोवियत यूनियन ने 19, मेरे ख्याल से 70s में है वेनेरा 14।
Mm-hmm.
जो आप देख रहे हैं दैट इज एक्चुअली द सरफेस ऑफ वीनस,
Okay.
एंड ये जो आवाज़ें आ रही हैं ये लैंडर के अंदर से रिकॉर्डेड है। और आई थिंक
अच्छा.
एट सम पॉइंट इसमें एक ड्रिल की आवाज़ आएगी। एंड ये जो सरफेस आप देख रहे हैं, दिस इज ऑल वॉल्केनिक एश।
Okay.
So these are so we know Venus is a volcanic world, so it's covered in volcanoes.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if those volcanoes are still active. Uh, yeah, so this sound that you just heard was basically the drill
So
operating.
this one, right?
And
Yeah.
this, yes,
Yeah.
this, yeah,
Okay, sir.
and this lander survived for about 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
2.5 hours, and then essentially boiled from the inside because it was that hot.
Okay.
Uh, तो ये इसका काफी बुरा हाल हो जाएगा by the end of this.
Okay, sir. So, sir, like the video was not showing on YouTube due to certain technical problem.
हाँ,
Can we do the explanation of it once more? So, if that's sort
हाँ,
of
sure,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
हाँ,
So,
for sure.
yeah. So now, sir, it's coming on the screen of the viewers as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
हाँ, ये जो आवाज आप सुन रहे हैं, ये एक्चुअली दिस इज द ड्रिल ऑन दिस लैंडर ऑन वीनस। इट्स कॉल्ड वेनेरा 14। सोवियत यूनियन ने भेजा था 1970s में ये लैंडर, मेरे ख्याल से 1970s या शायद लेट 1960s। और जो आप देख रहे हैं फोटो, ये एक कैमरा था उस लैंडर पे जो नीचे देख रहा था। सो दिस इज फ्रॉम द सर्फेस ऑफ वीनस, एंड आसपास जो दिख रहा है, that is all volcanic soil. So we know Venus has a lot of volcanoes. We don't know if it is active uh, because we haven't had any observations. But this was a lander that went and sampled the surface and told us a lot of things about the surface.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Great, great, sir. So that was that was really amazing to see an actual lander and to hear the sound of the planet from Venus. So,
right. Have you guys did you guys see the video of the Mars landing and the sounds of Mars? Because I would also recommend that. Like they are very interesting too.
we have we have live streamed about Huygens probe and also about
Okay.
Perseverance landing. So we
Right.
have live
Right.
streamed those videos. So they
Right.
might have heard it.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Right.
Yeah, yes, sir. So, sir, there is one question. People nowadays are saying that we'll go on Mars, हम लोग Mars पे जाके we'll rehabilitate it. But
Hmm.
is it actually true that Venus can be more habitable in comparison to Mars? क्योंकि the core of Mars is not that warm now, and it's an older planet, and Venus is yet a young planet.
Actually, they were all formed around the same time as the Earth.
Okay,
So they're not like relatively younger or older by very much.
okay,
Habitability is like a very complicated question because it's also there are things. So the trouble with Mars is gravity is very low, and low gravity is bad for the human body for an extended period of time.
mm-hmm.
The atmosphere is very thin, so
Okay,
radiation is a problem. I mean, there are ideas on how to thicken the atmosphere, and various studies have been done to study that. With Venus, there comes another set of problems, which is like so you can't really survive on the surface of Venus. So habitability के हिसाब से आप मतलब 460 Celsius पे आप नहीं कर सकते survive. So the place where habitability is potentially possible is in this cloud layer. So in the balloon side, 50 kilometers above the surface. 50 kilometers above the surface is, to give you some sense, is 5 times the altitude of a regular aircraft that we fly on Earth. So aircrafts typically fly at about 10 kilometers altitude on Earth. On Venus, so 50 kilometers above the surface,
okay,
the temperature is bearable. Temperature and pressure are bearable. But then there's the question of sort of having oxygen to survive and like water to survive. And Venus is very dry, right? So
okay.
both. So honestly, at least at this time, there is nothing like Earth, right? This is a planet like sort of worth saving, because establishing long-term life in either on Venus or on Mars is a very challenging proposition, especially for the long term.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily think one is more habitable than the other. They're both very challenging, but the possibility that l- astrobiological, so basically life forms like small bacteria or whatever, the possibility that they might have existed at some point is actually true for both of them, because we don't for Venus especially, like we don't even know what the planetary evolution path is. So one possible scenario is that it was covered in an ocean till maybe as recently as 1 billion years ago. Right?
Okay.
1 billion years sounds like a long time, but like in
Yeah.
planetary formation, it's actually not a very long time. So if it had like an ocean a billion years ago, is it possible that the oceans also had life in them? Right. So that question we don't know. And recently एक paper आया था around last year के end पे जहाँ पे this gas called phosphine was detected on Venus. And on Earth, phosphine is typically generated by living organisms.
Okay.
And so part of the hypothesis, which has not been tested because we haven't measured anything, by going to Venus, is that there's potentially life in the clouds of Venus. Like small microbial life. So not like human beings or whatever, but like small microbial life. So that exists. That possibility of like finding life on Venus exists as it does on Mars. And we've sent so many missions to Mars. looking for life. Perseverance rover is looking for signs of past life on Mars. It's collecting samples. Curiosity is looking, for signs. But we haven't done this on Venus, and so like we sort of need to go back and make these measurements and figure this out.
Sure, sir.
You know, yeah.
So now, sir, let's take certain questions from audience because
Sure.
like they have been spamming a lot. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'll share the video. So and also the
Okay.
questions from chat one by one. So guys,
Okay.
you had mailed us certain videos recently. So one by one, I'm showing them all. I cannot show all of them. So let's begin with the one over here. Yes. One second, sir. Yeah. So, can you see the screen now, sir?
Yes.
So, can you hear the voice?
Yes, I can. I can. Yes, I can.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's answer that question one by one. So the first question, really good timing because as of last month, NASA is sending two new missions to Venus. They're called Veritas and Da Vinci Plus,
Mm-hmm.
which will study both the atmosphere and interior of Venus, which is much long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
The European Space Agency is sending a mission to Venus soon. Actually, closer to home, everyone's in India. ISRO has announced a mission to Venus at some point. They're going to send an orbiter. It's called Shukrayan. And so there are a lot of missions now that are going to go to Venus. So we will definitely find out more. The second part of the question, mountains at room temperature. I am not particularly sure.
So
Venus is
I'll
it
just
doesn't
give
have
you like backdrop of it. So Graham Lau sir had come to the channel around 6 months back. So he had given
right.
this example for a particular question. So he was telling there that there are room temperature. So I
Oh,
think
it is possible entirely. Yeah, I mean there are mountains that would be if the surface is very hot, then the mountains can be at room temperature. I know the clouds of Venus are at room temperature. I am personally not aware of mountains on Venus that might be at room temperature. There might be the others in the solar system.
yes, 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 yes. So, sir, let's take the question from chat. So now, sir, like I'll speak out all the question. So there
Hmm.
is one which is really common is about Venus being the hottest planet. So, sir,
Hmm.
can you help us in explaining that if we do not know how greenhouse gas works, so can you
Right.
tell us that why Venus is so hot and it's the
Yes.
hottest planet?
Yes, absolutely. So, some gases
Mm-hmm.
absorb heat.
Okay.
Uh, Gases like carbon dioxide, methane,
Mm-hmm.
even water vapor. These things trap heat.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury, even though it's closest to the sun,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have an atmosphere. So, what is happening is only the sunlight is heating Mercury. But on Venus, what is happening is it is 98% carbon dioxide. Okay, so carbon dioxide is a heat absorbing gas. It's called a greenhouse gas. And actually, this is how we first detected global warming because this is happening on Earth also at a lower level, but equally dangerous. So on Venus, what happens is the sun comes in and the carbon dioxide. So aside from the sun being strong, the carbon dioxide traps all this heat from the sun, which Mercury doesn't have this carbon dioxide, so it doesn't trap that heat. And so this is why Venus ends up being a much warmer planet than Mercury because not only is it getting heat from the sun, it's also not letting the heat escape. It's actually पकड़ के रखा है basically heat.
Okay.
Uh, और ये अर्थ पे भी हो रहा है if you have heard of global warming, if you have heard of climate change, it is the same gases. It's CO2, carbon dioxide, that is trapping all this heat from burning fossil fuels on Earth and causing the Earth's climate to warm up. On Venus, this is called runaway greenhouse effect because it is very high carbon dioxide, so it's much, much hotter, but the same effect exists on Earth.
Okay, okay, okay. So, sir, there is another question by Padma Sivan from YouTube chat. So, sir, the question is that why Venus is so cloudy?
Very good question. We have absolutely no idea. And this is part of the sort of thing that we are trying to answer with these new missions is so these clouds are all sulfuric acid.
Mm-hmm.
So about 85% sulfuric acid aerosol. So like on Earth we have water vapor clouds. Venus has sulfuric acid clouds. We actually don't know very well how this sulfuric acid is being synthesized into these clouds and how it's even getting there. So one possible hypothesis is Venus has a lot of volcanic eruptions. So the volcanic eruptions are sending out this sulfur and
Mm-hmm.
mixing with water and forming these sulfuric acid clouds. But this is something we don't know. We have to actually go there and test it out. And it's actually a technological problem because if you try to look at Venus using a regular optical telescope, you actually can't see past the clouds because the clouds are so thick. So you have to actually to see the surface of Venus. Harshit, I don't know if you want to do a Google search again for
Yeah,
Venus surface, Magellan.
I'll just do that.
Yeah.
Venus surface. Okay.
तो एक बड़ी क्लासिक वीनस की एक इमेज आती है ऑरेंजिश कलर की विथ लाइक अ लॉट ऑफ structures on the surface.
Uh, just
If
1
you
minute.
can,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. So now we can see the screen. Yeah.
एग्जैक्टली तो ये जो इमेजेस हैं अगर आप रेगुलर टेलीस्कोप वीनस को पॉइंट करके देखोगे तो ये कुछ नहीं दिखेगा बिकॉज यू डोंट these images are not uh, visible from the earth because you'll not see past the clouds, but you can use something called radar to map
Mm-hmm.
the surface. And this is what the last NASA mission in the 1990s actually did. Like, so you see this picture that says 5 weird facts about Venus at the bottom,
Okay.
and the one right next to it that says a probe to the hellish surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually a picture that is not in using optical telescopes. This is using radar from
Okay.
NASA's last mission to Venus, which is Magellan. And the only way we can see past the clouds is to use radio,
Radio.
not actually eyesight.
Okay.
So yeah, but we don't know why the clouds are there.
Whoa. Whoa. So, like, is there any your most favorite part of Venus, like the most mysterious part, which you get fascinated upon every time you look at this
Oh
planet?
yeah, I mean the entire surface, right? Like look at it. It's crazy. There is a Twitter bot that actually takes little pieces of this surface and tweets it out every day, and every part of it like looks crazy. And this is something interesting that one of my friends says always. He's a geologist, and he basically, and I really like what he says. He says basically nothing else in the solar system looks as much like the Earth as Venus does because it
Yeah.
has mountains, it has these weird tectonic structures, it has these continental things that look like continents, it has volcanoes all over the place. So like the entire surface is just very, very interesting, like and we've explored so little of it that like we actually don't know why any of it is there really.
Yes. 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 So, sir, let's take another audience question.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, sir, why? Yeah. So, I think this is a repetitive question, but it is being asked a lot that why are they called like Venus and Earth as the sister planets? Like, why are they sister?
Right, right. It's primarily because they are very similar in physical dimension. So Venus is the radius of Venus is almost the same as that of the Earth. I think it's about 80% of the Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and Venus mass is about 90% roughly of the Earth's mass. So they're very similar that way. And why that is important is because in planetary formation, it's often these two parameters that are very important to how the planet is eventually going to be, because it governs how much heat the planet is having to cycle. So that's why they're called system, and they're also neighbors, right? Like, so they're not very different in terms of their distance from the sun.
Okay.
And so they're very similar, but then they're also very different. So that's why we sort of, it's actually the new terminology now is not necessarily like Earth's planetary twin, but the sort of Earth's cousin. Like, it's like an Earth's wayward cousin, Earth's cousin that went the wrong way. That is really the terminology that's now being used for Venus.
Great, sir. So we'll listen up another question now, and
Good evening, sir, and everyone. I am
yes.
Nivan, and today I am.
So on your screens, right, sir, we will be seeing another question from a kid, basically Akshit Gupta from Lucknow.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So
Okay.
now you could be seeing.
Yes, I
Yes.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, so first part of the question, we don't have any active missions to Venus that involve balloons. So how the NASA mission process works is every few years there's a competition, and different organizations submit proposals for missions, and then NASA selects missions. So these last two that were selected after a competition. So there are concepts. So before a mission is selected, there are mission concepts that people propose to NASA. So there are concepts that involve Venus balloons in the past. So we're hoping they get selected in the future, and that's something that NASA will decide in the future. Um, in terms of can human beings live on balloons on Venus? Certainly, I mean, it's a technological challenge, right? मतलब humans को पहुंचाने के लिए काफी चीजें carry करनी पड़ती हैं, मतलब so their life support system is very heavy. So
Yeah.
that's why we haven't been able to land people on Mars yet, because we have to figure out how to land people. So, but in principle, yes, I do think human beings could be carried to Venus on a balloon, because like the temperature and pressure again is very tolerable. In fact, actually, if viewers want to look this up, there is a mission concept. Again, it's a concept; it's not an actual ongoing mission. But there's a very nice video that came out a couple of weeks ago. There is a NASA mission concept called HAVOC, HAVOC, एंड उसका एक मिशन कॉन्सेप्ट का एक वीडियो था जो बहुत आई फाउंड इट वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग कि how human beings will be able to be in the clouds of Venus on a balloon. So I recommend that you go check it out. Like it's pretty great.
Okay, okay. So guys, we'll check out the video, and now it's the time for the last question of the day. It's already like around 1 hour is happening. So guys, one last question. So why? Okay, that's a very cute question by Zena Fernandez. Why is Venus second?
Why is we? Wow, that's actually a tough question. I mean, something had to be second, right? It just turns out
Yeah.
complete coincidence that it is Venus. But when you look at the formation of the solar system, how it was all like a large
Huh.
cloud, right, with dust and gas, and then slowly things started to come together. Um, and if you notice, the closest four planets to the sun are all rocky planets, and then there is the asteroid belt, which is like small rocks, and after that everything is a gas planet, right? Like so aapka Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they're all planets that are basically gas dominated. So that's how the solar system was formed. Like it's just like everything came together and just so Venus ended up we whatever ended up being second, we just decided to call it Venus. And by we, I mean I think it was either the Greeks or the Romans because they were the early astronomers who found these. And so Venus is really the goddess of love, right? Like so yeah, the names of these planets are
Mm-hmm.
named after like it's the Roman goddess of love. So it's the Romans who observed them and like just named them after their deities, and so like it just whatever came second, we just call it Venus, but it would be there even if we called it something else.
Great, 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 sir. So that is the question, and I feel like if there are more questions, then we'll try to answer them in the comment section of the video, which you can basically use for all the kind of questions, everyone. And that's it. Thanks a lot, Siddharth sir, for coming onto the show and
Thank you. My pleasure.
basically telling us about so many things about Venus. And there is one thing which we do with all the people at Kalam Labs. At the end of the session, we say we love science together. So
Okay.
yeah, so that is basically the thing. So we'll count backwards now. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we love science,
We love
everyone.
science.
Yes, we love science, sir. And
We
that
do love
is,
science.
yes, sir. That is the end of the session, which we do. Thanks a lot, sir. And I hope
Thank you for having me.
there are a lot of kids who are giving us angry faces because we are not able to answer all the questions. But no issues, no issues. We'll cover them all. And that's it. Thanks a lot, sir, for coming to the
Thank
show.
you. Thanks very much. If you have more questions, that you want me to answer, I'm on Twitter.
Yeah.
I can share, I can share or you can find me on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll share the links, sir. I'll
Yeah,
share the links to all
yeah.
the
So
kids.
people, if they want to tweet at me with their questions, I can answer some of them.
Sure,
So
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Sure,
So
sure. Thanks a lot, sir.
great. All right. Good
Great.
luck
Yes,
to
sir.
everyone. Please follow your interest. Work on things that make you passionate. And keep following your desire and your interest, and that's all science is about, right? Like it's just being interested in things you don't know about. So
Yes,
please
sir.
keep doing it. Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks a lot, sir.
great. All right, thank you. See
Bye.
you.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
So, guys, now, as sir has told, we are providing you the contact details and also the links. आज की जो हमारी Venus की quiz है, that is also going to begin now. Okay, so hello everyone, hello everyone, hello everyone in the chat. My name is Harshit Awasthi. आज का जो session था, that was with Siddharth sir. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, then please answer me. Don't get angry. Don't get angry, Minakshi Rana. And also everyone else, don't get angry. We will take all the questions and all the answers. And further, आज की जो quiz है, we are also beginning that very soon. Okay. So now, let's begin everything. And जितनी सारी चीजें थी, let's begin them up. Okay, guys. One question to you all. Okay, can anybody tell me which number in the solar system कहाँ पे Venus lie करता है? Is it first planet in the solar system, second or third? Which planet is basically Venus present in the whole solar system? First OP, second OP or third OP? Write it down, write it down, write it down in the chat section. Write it down, write it down, write it down in the chat section. कहाँ पे lie करता है? And meanwhile, we are opening the app now. Okay. So, where does Venus lie in the whole series of solar system? कहाँ पे lie करता है? Let us know in the chat section. First OP, second OP, third OP. First OP, second OP, third OP. Okay. So first OP, second OP, third OP. Write this down into the chat section. Okay, I can see the answers coming now. Second OP in the chat. People are writing second OP. Wonderful. Okay, now let's play rapid fire. Neptune, Is it 7, 8 or 6? Write it down in the chat section. 7, 8 or 6. Quickly. And that is basically a warm up because अब हम लोग शुरू करेंगे our quiz and all everything. Okay. So now guys, let's begin the question and the answering part. If you have any questions, let's answer them all together. Okay. So guys, let's see the questions as well as the answers and the other things. Okay. Okay. So guys, if you want to send us the video, then you can send the video very easily to my WhatsApp number. I'm providing you the WhatsApp number now, and I'll try to manage these videos to send it to Siddharth sir. Okay, all the people. So jitne bhi log hain, I'm providing my WhatsApp number right now, so you can basically send it your video to Siddharth sir. There were certain issues with audio, maybe with the questions of Akshit, Karul and Apurva, which we were not able to show today because of a problem. But all these questions will be done by Siddharth sir, and I'll ask him personally to record a reaction on this video, and we'll send out these reactions. Okay, so everyone, we'll collect the video, and if you want like any question, you can all write anywhere in the chat section, anywhere. I'm also providing the Twitter link. Okay, so in the chat itself you can get it right now. अगर मिल रहा है तो ठीक है, otherwise आप WhatsApp कर देना अगर आपको कुछ भी नहीं मिल रहा हो. Okay, any day. It's already present in the YouTube channel. By the way, so guys, Venus is actually the hottest planet, and Siddharth sir is basically working on these technologies. He has been working on these technologies to find out कि क्या है actually Venus के अंदर, क्या राज है, how things actually function over there. Okay. So guys, how are you? Let's provide you the things, and as well as it's around 7 bajne wale hain. It's 3 minutes. Okay, so it's 3 minutes to 7. Let's finalize everything. Okay. So now it's the video time, which is coming on to the channel. Okay, and now let's see the things. Okay. 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 So hello guys. Lot of issues. 8OP in the chat. 8OP in the chat. Now let's go on to the video parts quickly. Okay. So everyone, we have been talking about Venus today in this session. We had talked to you about Venus. We were talking about Venus and also how things are working over there. Okay. So now let's move on to the question and the answers round, everyone. Okay. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to the question round. Okay. 8OP. Okay, so guys, now as many of you are requesting, I have provided my WhatsApp number. Okay, this is my WhatsApp account. If there is any video, you can send. Okay, don't get angry, we will try to respond, and I collect all the numbers. Okay, so in that case we will be doing the everything. Okay, and if you have any question how you can operate the app, you can just text me if there's any problem. Okay, and guys, let's go on to this session now. to the quiz now. So guys, let's begin the quiz now. Okay, let's begin the quiz which is going to happen on Kalam Labs application. Okay, so now everyone get on to the Kalam Labs application and let's get set to the quiz. क्विज के लिए अब हम लोग शुरू हो जाते हैं. हम लोग अपनी सारी चीज़ें बिगिन कर देते हैं ताकि हम लोग शुरुआत से कर पाए सब चीज़ें बिल्कुल रेडी. ओके, सो hello. Now you will see a very weird screen on your system. Okay, so all the audio issues and everything issues have been solved now, guys. Okay, and now you would be seeing a really cool theme present on it. Okay, okay, so now guys, okay, so now guys, let's enter to the live stream and let's begin this quiz now. So guys, are you curious OP in the chat, curious OP in the chat, curious OP in the chat, curious OP in the chat. Okay, so guys, now let's begin the quiz. You can open up the app, it's all available free on the App Store. If there's any problem, then you can let me know. Okay, okay. Okay, so now guys, let's talk about Venus and the things which are coming in front of you. There is one thing in Kalam Labs which we do every time, जिसका नाम है Curious OP. Okay, so guys, whenever there's a question, we always say curious to everyone. Okay, so that is one thing which is important. And another thing is that today we were talking about Venus, guys. So I have a very special exercise for you. Okay, so all the people at Kalam Labs who are watching us, we talked about Venus and it's around 7 o'clock. Within 10 minutes, we are going to end the session. It's only the 9-8 minutes which are left now. Okay, so now guys, what happens here is that you have to basically tell us that can anybody go outside and see Venus itself? Can anybody of you can go outside and see Venus? It's present in the night sky around the horizon. Okay, yes, Venus OP in the chat. So guys, if you want to download this quiz, you can come with me and you can download here. Okay, I'll just tell you what it is. It's available free on App Store as of now. But अगर आपको कुछ भी जानना हो, then you can talk to me regarding this. That's not a problem. Okay, so now guys, I'll just take you a tour to the things which were present today. Okay, so now guys, let's go on to the quiz section. The section है हमारे साथ quiz का. Okay, curious OP. So now guys, let's go on to the quiz and also to the other things जो हमारे सामने आ रही थी. Okay, so ये हमारी spaceship है which is in front of you right now. Okay, which is moving towards the planet Venus. But the interesting thing guys which is with us is that आज हम लोग Venus के बारे में we'll be understanding 10 different kind of things in respect to the planets. Okay, in just 5 minutes. Okay, so that will be the daily dosage which we give at Kalam Labs every day on the YouTube channel as well as on the application. Okay, so let's get down to the 10 different facts which are going to be present over here. Okay, so now let's get on to the quiz sections and everyone जो हमारे साथ हैं, let's go on to them. Okay, sir, where to download the app? ये आपको freely मिल जाएगी, but अगर आपको मन करे आप WhatsApp कर देना मुझे, I'll give you the link. Okay, that's not a problem. This is Akshit. हेलो अक्षित, आपकी वीडियो मुझे नहीं पता बट क्यों ऐसे टेढ़े आ रही थी, आई डोंट नो. ओके, सो सॉरी अक्षित, वी वर नॉट एबल टू सी योर वीडियो, बट कोई बात नहीं, वी विल बी watching more such thing. Okay, so guys, this is Kalam Labs, Kalam Labs, Kalam Labs, Kalam Labs, Kalam Labs. Okay. Okay, so now I'll show you one important thing. Okay. So guys, चलते हैं. All the people जिनको ज्वाइन करना था उन्होंने आई थिंक हैव ज्वाइन कर लिया है. दिस इज माई व्हाट्सएप नंबर, दिस माई ओन व्हाट्सएप नंबर, सो आप स्पैम मत करना प्लीज. ओके, बट बिकॉज देर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु आर फेसिंग लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स विद ऑडियो इश्यूज, सो इट्स आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू एक्चुअली cater everyone, right? So guys, let's move on to the session now. Let's move on to the session and let's begin it. All the people, it's present on iOS as well, and please don't spam my number. I think it's only 300 audience, that's why I have shared it, otherwise I would not have. Okay. So guys, this is basically the Kalam Labs application जो हमारे सामने दिखाई दे रही है. Okay, this is my camera, this is my phone, this is everything. Okay, so now guys, let's move on to the chat section and the stickers section. Okay, so guys, यहाँ पे हमारे chat and stickers आ चुके हैं. Okay, and also the quiz part which is coming over here. Okay, so now guys, what I'll do is that I'll basically tell you that what we do over here. Okay, so guys, this is my spaceship which I take. Okay, and when I move forward, then basically it takes me to anywhere where I want to go. Okay, so people on Kalam Labs, can you hear us? Are you all curious? Can you switch on your microphone and let us know? Curious OP in the chat. Curious. All, are you all curious? Yes or no? Say yes. Okay, so all the people were speaking now. Curious OP in the chat. Curious OP in the chat. Okay, so now guys, let's move on to the first important thing जो हम लोग आज समझ रहे थे. Venus, guys, it's a planet which is second most in the place. Okay, so it's present second most into the system. It's also the hottest planet, which is also important, as well as it's also important to understand that ki second hai in all the domains. Okay, so everyone, Venus OP in the chat. Okay. Venus OP in the chat. Curious OP in the chat. It's happening. Okay, so now guys, let's move on to the video session. Okay, and if you want to share your video, which I was not able to share with Siddhartha sir, so all the school principals who are watching us, and also the teachers and the kids and parents जितने भी हैं, तो आप you can WhatsApp me on this number. Okay, so अगर आपको वीडियो भेजने में दिक्कत हुई हो, because we had basically said, so this is my number which is present over there. Okay, so now guys, let's move on to the questions. So guys, there is one question which I want to tell you, that Venus जो एक planet है, that is very structurally similar to our own Earth. Okay, so what happens is that Venus, when actually being taken closer to Earth, as well as even if we take it a bit, like अगर Venus को हम लोग Earth के पास ले आते, so there are certain possibilities that could make Venus something similar to Earth itself. Uska structure and all is really simple, and there are a lot of ways by which we can actually be identifying that how it is. Okay, so everyone, so this is basically, also again I'm forwarding the video, like my phone number. So earlier it was wrong. Okay, so now because I'm writing it down in during the session, so that is why there was one digit wrong. So all the school principals, you can use it now, and then take it forward. Okay, so this is my phone number. If you want to send the question or anything related to the session which you felt, so here you can tell me. Okay, that is the way. Hello, say Kannad. Hello. Venus OP in the chat, everyone. Venus. तो begin करते हैं session को begin करते हैं and बातें करते हैं to all the people who are coming over here. Okay, so curious OP. So guys, this is the correct number. Okay, previously थोड़ा गलत था, but now it's the correct one. Okay, so this won't be a problem. If you would ring anyone, then it's also fine. Okay, so it's 200 only, so that's not a problem. Okay, so if you have any problem with the video, अगर आप video नहीं भेज पाए थे तो आप मुझे भेज सकते हो now, and that will work now. Okay, so guys, hello everyone, that is the basic thing. Okay. Okay, fine. So now guys, this is basically the quiz which we do on Kalam Labs. Tomorrow what I'll do is that we'll be doing another session at 6 p.m. in which we are going to tell you all the things which were there. Okay, so all the facts of Venus, we are conducting a quiz on Kalam Labs. A person who will actually do all the correct answers, they will win the quiz, and that's why if you want to attend it, that's your choice. Okay, that is my number, you can save it down, and if you want to contact any related to science, you can always contact me. That's the basic thing. And guys, that is basically the thing. Now let's say we love science together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the people, speak with me. We love science, everyone. We love science. OP in the chat. आज की जो quiz है, we are ending it as of now. Okay, so we love science. Quiz को end करते हैं, and then we will figure out everything. Okay, so bye. Let's end the session today. Okay.